I'm Kevin Smith with Crescat Capital. I'm here with Tony Reda from Tectonic Metals, and we are at the Beaver Creek Precious Metals Summit. And so Tony has a project in Alaska that is a big intrusive related gold system. And can you just tell us a little bit more generally about the project?
Yeah, for sure. What drew us into the area was there's a deposit down the road that's about 40 million ounces. So we're in a mineral belt that has the capability to produce a tier 1 deposit. And I asked myself, could there be another one lurking in the shadows? So we have a very strong relationship with one of Alaska's leading native regional corporations. They are the landowner, and they actually happen to be our second largest shareholder behind Crescat. And so I approached them, and they presented this opportunity to me that is a Fort Knox analog. And for those that don't know, the Fort Knox mine, it produced this 9 millionth ounce. It's owned and operated by Kinross Gold, and it's one of the most prolific mines in Alaska. It has a milling operation and a heap leach operation. And ironically, the same group that discovered and advanced the Fort Knox mine into production, they actually put the first few drill holes into our asset back in the mid-'80s. And so it had gold endowment in drilling. It had 1.4 million ounces of recorded placer gold coming out of these intrusion targets. It had a 4-kilometer long golden soil anomaly. These are all signs that point to that we're dealing with something that's large in size. We did our first drilling last year and hit gold in every hole. So we have 74 drill holes in total at our main target, and every hole has hit gold mineralization. And here we are now this year, going to execute our second ever drill program.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, we are very happy to be investors in Tectonic. And so Tony mentioned Quentin Henney, who is Crescat's geologic and technical director. And Quentin has been one of the geologists, one of the key geologists out there that's been very passionate about this reduced intrusion style of gold deposit, gold mineralization up in the Tintina belt, and it's a big belt that extends across the Yukon and into Alaska. And as you know, we're invested in some other companies like Snowline and Sitka that are onto some big high-grade intrusive related gold discoveries. What we really like, what Quentin really likes about Tectonic especially, is that this is one of the biggest systems that we have seen that we also believe is fully preserved, and it's just an enormous package of rocks, a land package that they have that is of this reduced intrusion style. And like Tony said, every hole has hit gold, virtually every hole, if not every hole, has hit gold mineralization, which goes to show the consistency and the potential tonnage and scale of this thing. The Fort Knox is kind of the the analog, the model, where people look at these types of systems and they say, well, it doesn't look like it's very high grade, but for the type of system that it is high grade. And Fort Knox produces gold at what cutoff?
Yeah,
what cutoff?
The cutoff is 0.18, but the current reserve grade of the gold going to the heap leach pad is 0.3 grams per ton, and the grade going to the mill is about 0.8. And you can look at the financials, the quarterlies. I mean, this mine makes a lot of money. And so grade is important, but it's not just grade, it's how do you extract the gold from the rock. So metallurgical recoveries play a role. Is it open pit? Even the style of deposit, is it like a vein system that goes deep? So all these factors, how do you get your power there? What people also probably don't realize is that your biggest energy consumer and your biggest cost contributor, when you look at all-in sustaining costs, is crushing and grinding. So how fine do you have to crush that rock in order to get the gold out? And Fort Knox is profitable because it actually is a run of mine, which means they don't have to crush the rock. They just do one primary crush, and then it goes right on the pad and it starts to leach gold. Where other mines, if you have to crush the rock down to, say, a pebble size, imagine just how much energy and power that takes and how much money it takes. So this is why you can make lower grade systems economic. And also, one thing to note, worldwide, the average grade of an open pit deposit or underground deposit right now is 1.04 grams per ton. So that's the bar we're working with. That being said, our project, we've drilled grades as high as 50 grams, and historically we have 211 grams per ton in drill core. So there is high grade in the system, which is very comforting. With any project, it takes you a while to fully understand it. This reduced intrusion related gold system, I mean, it's important to understand the features of it, the analog, but I can tell you the last project that we sold for 520 million, you know, we had gold almost in every hole there, but what we're seeing is that you have to kind of date someone to fully understand it, to understand the geological controls. And I think with 1 year of drilling under our belt, our own data, geophysics, LiDAR, liniment analysis, we're now at a point where we can take the data that we have and the data that our historical explorers have obtained for us and be more impactful this year.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so recoveries are a key part of the story, and that's one thing with this type of gold system, and this project in particular, they have really good recoveries. There's going to be more data on that coming out soon, right?
Yeah, we did. We're probably the only junior that's ever done metallurgy before drilling. We did that on a historical drill core, and we got 99, 97, 96% on average gold recovery. And now we're doing our first ever heap leach column tests, and that's being done at a 3/4 inch crush, which is a very high bar already being set. Again, going back to that argument of how fine you have to crush that rock, and those results we expect to have out in the next week or so. Mm-hmm. And following those results, we just announced yesterday that we're drilling probably one of the very few juniors right now that has like 3 million cash in the bank, and we have immediate catalysts. And we've gone on record in our news release yesterday stating that we expect to have our first ever drill assays for this year's program by the end of October. So you'll have metallurgical heap leach test results. You'll have our first drill results by the end of October, and then ensuing that or following that, we'll have more drill results in November and December. So a lot of catalysts, and we're in a backdrop of $2,500 gold. The majors are actually producing better balance sheets. Their quarterlies are looking pretty damn good, and the share prices have also performed. So will that help, Kevin?
Yeah, I hope so. The junior mining explorer stocks have underperformed the the gold price, the major, but that's the opportunity. I mean, gold prices are up. The money is starting to come in, just starting to come in to this sector, we think, and but it takes its way to find its. It takes time to find its way down to the small and micro cap explorers. But at Crescat, we are interested in the exploration segment of the industry because that's where you can go after some big targets. I mean, and that's what we like to do. That's what Quentin, our geologic and technical director, gets excited about. Early stage, big targets. At Crescat, we like to get the money to the companies to do the drilling. We've invested in several rounds with Tectonic, and they're drilling right now. So, like Tony said, expect news to be coming out over the next few months. And I encourage you to go look at Tectonic Metals. Go to their website, check out their corporate presentation. And this is Tony Reda, CEO. Tony, any final comments?
I know. That's just a big thank you to Crescat for making. You were the lead on the last few financings, and so his last comments are stay tuned for some good results coming down the pipeline. And as far as I'm concerned, we wouldn't be here putting our reputation behind something we didn't believe in. And for context, our last project we sold for 520 million. So stay tuned for the results, and I look forward to you proving me wrong.
All right, thanks, Tony.